Here we go. Here we go again. Oh yeah. Alrighty folks, we have a pretty big stream planned for you today. Pretty lengthy, I guess I should say. Phoenix, Hearthstone, reading, and exercise. So 4 series segments for today alone. As always, thank you for watching, thank you for following. Gotta make sure I slow down, because when I'm talking too fast, it's like... Okay. And we're live! Alright, let's get to it. Here we go again. Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, episode number 9. Edition number 9, if you will. It's actually episode 3, the day 2 trial. You're going to be... How'd that moth get in here? Yeah, episode 3, day 3 trial. Last time they were really hammering Will Powers, and we didn't really have any good deflections. We tried to pin it on the security lady, Old Bag, to try to take some of the attention off of Will Powers, because we just didn't really have a good idea about who was in the Steel Samurai costume. Last time I made a mistake in that I didn't examine the bottle, but we'll see what that does, if anything. October 19th, 9:42 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 1. It's Will Powers. You can see his chest hair too, sticking out from his shirt. Totally reminds me of Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Must be the hair. Mr. Wright? I try to give him the Beast voice from Beauty and the Beast, because he also kind of reminds me of that too. Yes? Why do you look so unhappy? Oh, nothing. Really, it's nothing. Right, Mia? Uh-oh, she looks even unhappier. Looks like Mia's back. She was possessing Maya last time. Phoenix. Your client is now practically a dead man walking. Perhaps that's why I feel particularly close to him. This is no time for dead people jokes, please. You know we're going into this trial utterly defenseless. Yes, it's true, I still have not made the connection as to who was inside that costume. So this trial is going to be particularly tricky to pull off again. Yet if Mr. Powers is truly innocent, we should be able to find something overlooked in the evidence to prove it. Something overlooked? We have to find something, Phoenix, today. It's that or lose the trial. This isn't going to be easy. You can say that again. October 19th, 10 o'clock a.m., District Court, courtroom number 4. We thought it could be the director or producer, but they were both prevented from having access to Studio One at the time. It can't be the boy, but he's going to be called as a witness. So that's not good. I do have Mia possessing her sister Maya. So that I should be able to use that to my advantage, but what positive difference that's going to have on the trial, if any, it's hard to say. She'll at least be able to guide me somewhat, so that's good. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Oh, great, Edgeworth again. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement, please. An unexpected fact has come to the attention of the court. Yesterday, we learned that there were other people present at the studios. Today, I would like to show evidence proving they had nothing to do with the murder. Yeah, we pretty much already knew that. Very well. You may call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. I wonder if it'll be that producer. It might be the boy. Oh, it's the director. The prosecution calls Mr. Salmonella to the stand. Or that director. Sweaty guy. Will the witness state his name and profession? How rude can you get? You don't know me? I'm the director. I'm gonna give him a different voice. I make the Steel Samurai new Raffle. Salmonella, I'm a director. Television. Were you at Global Studios on the day of the murder? Yes, Your Honor. Very well. Please testify to the court about the events of that day. Phoenix. Let's start by picking his testimony apart. If Powers is innocent, you know what that means. Someone in the trailer on that day did it. Right. She doesn't waste any time putting on the pressure. Could it have been Salmonella? I was at the studios from around 9 o'clock that morning. During the morning I was doing an action scene run through, so I'm definitely going to want to press him. It took a lot more time than I thought it would. I hear that everyone else ate lunch in the employee area. But I had a meeting in the studio 2 trailer, so I ended up skipping lunch. We were in the meeting until around 4 o'clock p.m. During the meeting, well, I'm pretty sure no one left their chairs. That's about it. The time of Mr. Hammer's death was 2:30 p.m. And according to your testimony, you were in a meeting at that time. Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Cross-examination, the day of the murder. I was at the studios from around 9 o'clock that morning. Let's take a peek at our evidence. This is the bottle that I need to examine. The label reads sleeping pills. And the path to glory was added. It contains photos of every victory scene in every battle the Steel Samurai has won. How is that going to be beneficial? I don't yet know. Let me just start by pressing him on everything. Is that when you always come into work? Oh no. I come in all sorts of hours. It's the industry way. Yeah, I know all about the freaks in your industry. Still, I was pretty busy all that day. Tell us more about that. During the morning I was doing an action scene run through. Hold it. In the employee area? That's right. There was a fight scene between the Steel Samurai and the evil magistrate. Was anyone else at the run through? Oh yeah, that security lady was sitting there watching the whole thing. Lol. She was cheering on Hammer, if you can believe it. She's always had Hammer's back, so that's not that surprising. She certainly has the lungs for it. Anyone else? Nope, just us 4. So the director, the producer, the security lady, and Hammer. It took a lot more time than I thought it would. Hold it! Why did it go on so long? I'm pretty sure you've already heard about this. The WP twisted his ankle during the run-through, see? Oh, right, that's the limp. Which of course led me to me missing my lunch, Ross. Ross rolling on the floor starving? I hear that everyone else ate lunch in the employee area. What exactly did they have for lunch? T-bone steak. The assistant cooked some up. Come to think of it, there was a plate with some bones on it from the employee area. Everyone else, meaning that the witness did not eat with them? So what were you doing at the time, then? Oh, I see, he had a meeting. Everyone else is having lunch, he was in the meeting. Hold it again. So in the end, you didn't get to eat? Yeah, no steak at least. Can you believe it? That must have been tough. Phoenix. Yeah? Doesn't something about that seem odd to you? Not at all, it's a little vague, it's contradictory. Should I say vague or contradictory? Because if all four of them were together, why didn't he eat with them? I think I should say stink moth. I think I should say contradictory. Yeah, it does seem odd now that you mention it. Mr. Manella. What did you want? When I went to Studio 2, I saw something on the table there. There were 2 plates, the same kind of plates as the ones in the employee area. Who ate lunch there? No, good call. I was embarrassed, so I didn't mention it. But I did eat after all. A T-bone steak, you mean? Yeah, well, me and the assistant went through all that trouble. I brought it to the trailer, thinking I could eat it later. Clearly a man who likes to eat. I'd suspected as much. So when exactly did you eat it? We took one break during that meeting. I wolfed it down then. A mental image I'll carry with me to my grave. Wait a second. If they took a break in that meeting, that contradicts his testimony. Because he wasn't with them. I'll press on that one a bit more. We were in the meeting until about 4 p.m. Hold it. What were you discussing? The Steel Samurai story, and our budget. Get this. The sponsors turn to me and say, Mr. Manella, those scripts of yours are not appropriate for children. Can't you believe it? Actually, I kinda can. So nobody left the table during the whole meeting? During the meeting, well, I'm pretty sure no one left their chairs. Hold it. You didn't take a single break? Well, yeah, not a one. What's he sweating so much about, I wonder? If only I had an idea. Wait a second. Maybe I do have an idea. Keep pressing him. You took a break. Didn't you? Wait a second. Mr. Manella, you just contradicted yourself. Didn't you just tell the court that you ate that T-bone steak during a break? Oops, Ruffle. Well, Mr. Manella, what's this all about? Well, yeah, I guess. We did take a little break. Phoenix, great job. They took a break. One of them could have gone to the studio during that time. Your Honor, I call on the witness to testify to the court about this break. Very well. Mr. Manella, your testimony, please. Burke. Uh-oh. Edgeworth's laughing. That's not a good sign. the break. Witness testimony. It is quite clear that I have this in my pocket. Yeah, phew. We took a break, Raffle. But it was only 15 minutes. 15, that's only 13 in base 12. Not enough time for someone to say commit murder in Studio 1, lol. It's only just enough time to eat a T-bone steak if you ask me. Steams. I don't think it would even be enough time for that, but that's just me. Very well, you may begin the cross-examination. See, the funny thing about eating is you can do it while you're doing other things. That's the funny thing about eating. Yeah, fool, we took a break, Waffle. You know, it's pressing. What time exactly did you take this break? I'd say it was from around 2:30 or so until 2:45. 2:30? That's the time of death. I'm on to something. So he could have gone to Studio 1, killed Hammer, and come back. I guess it's possible, time-wise. I need to create a connection. Edgeworth's ready to pounce. But it was only 15 minutes. 15? That's only 13 in base 12. Hold it. What were you doing for those 15 minutes? Eating my T-bone steak. What else? There were 2 plates on that table. Oh, right. The other one was Diva's. Sorry, D. Vasquez's plate. D. Vasquez, the producer. To eat a T-bone steak in 15 minutes. That's quite a feat. Not enough time for someone to say commit murder in Studio 1. Well, hold it. Why is that? Edgeworth objects. Haven't we had enough of this pointless line of questioning? Your Honor, the testimony to this point has made one certain fact painfully clear. The people in the trailer had nothing to do with this murder. It was impossible for any of them to go to Studio 1. What? Something wrong, Mr. Wright? Surely you aren't suggesting one of the people in the trailer went to Studio 1. That's exactly what I'm suggesting. Well, Mr. Wright? Phoenix, this is critical. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm suggesting. Think about it before you give your answer. Do you claim someone from the trailer went to Studio 1? I claim it, and I claim it loud. If I agree to let everyone in that trailer off the hook, then the trial's over. Mr. Powers will be found guilty for sure, because I won't be able to make the connection. The victim was murdered at 2:30, the exact time of the break in the meeting. With 15 minutes, murder is certainly a possibility. Yeah, absolutely, Phoenix. Go right for the jugular. Suppose you might say that. Alright, I've got the judge thinking. It's always good. Thinking is good. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Never a dull moment with you, Mr. Wright. What's your point, Edgeworth? Squilliam fancy son? You've been doing your homework, haven't you? Look at the court record. The court record? Surely you knew that from 2:15 to 4 o'clock the path between the studios was blocked. Mrs. Monkey's head had fallen across the path. Whoa, you're right. True, the break in the trailer meeting came right at the time of death. However, the path from there to the scene of the crime was blocked. The fall on Miss Monkey's head barred the way. It's actually Mr. Monkey, but Edgeworth has a point. Somehow I feel no desire to correct him. No counter-argument, Mr. Wright? Then I'm afraid you lose this round. Was I supposed to object? Hang on a second. Yeah, we're missing stuff. We have quite a lot of people ones added since last time, I think, are Cody Hackins, 7-year-old, big fan of the Steel Samurai, present at the studio on the day of the crime. The assistant, age 18, Penny Nichols, assistant at Global Studios in charge of large props and set pieces. The director, age 32, Sal Manella, creator of the Steel Samurai, present on the day of the crime. D. Vasquez, age 34, high-ranking producer at Global Studios, present on the day of the crime. I believe we've seen enough evidence. I would like to relieve Mr. Manella from the stand. What? It's over? Yeah, maybe I made a mistake not looking at these pills. Very well. The court's opinion on this case is as follows. We found that there were several other people in Studio 2 on the day of the murder. However, it's also clear that none of these people could have gone to Studio 1. They therefore have no relation to this case. Furthermore, with regards to the photo of the Steel Samurai, given the size of the costume, no one other than Mr. Powers could have worn it that day. All that's lacking is decisive evidence that he's the one who did it. If we had that, I'm afraid I would have to find Mr. Powers guilty. Your Honor, the prosecution is pleased to announce that we indeed have decisive evidence, a witness. It's going to be Cody. But Cody didn't see... We need to figure out who was in that costume. Like, that's what we need to figure out. Who is this witness, Mr. Edgeworth? A witness saw the very moment when the Steel Samurai skewered the victim. Order. I will have order. I see. Well, most importantly, he didn't see what led up to that. We need to figure out who is inside that costume. That's what we need to figure out. And I would argue to the judge that until we're able to figure out who is inside the costume, that witness's testimony doesn't really constitute evidence. Because the connection between the person in the costume and the murder hasn't been made. Because you are not the mask you wear. The court will take a 10-minute recess, after which we will hear your witness. Court is adjourned for the recess. I'm not even entirely sure what evidence I could have presented there that would have contradicted anything. October 19th, 11:04 a.m. District Court. Defendant lobby number. Be right back. I need to use the bathroom. What do we do now, Mia? Everyone in that trailer has an alibi. I'm sorry, Phoenix. I guess I was wrong. Mia? Don't tell me you're giving up. If you give up, what hope do I have? Don't get me wrong. I've never given up on a trial before. Not while there was a chance. Only one thing became clear in your cross-examination. The people in the trailer could not have gone to Studio One. I thought there was more to it than that. I still think the assistant could have done it. But I was wrong. That's all there is. What's going to happen to me? Kinda seems like everyone in that courtroom thinks I did it. Well, Mr. Powers, the problem is we're having difficulty putting literally anyone else who could have worn that costume in Studio One when it happened. Meanwhile, you were asleep in your room. They think I'm a murderer. It does seem like that's the case. Don't worry, Mr. Powers. If you are innocent, we will prove it. I guarantee it. Leave it to us, and be yourself. Be strong. You are the Steel Samurai, hero to children everywhere, after all. Thanks. Okay, Phoenix. This one's for the kids. Let's do it. Alright, I'm on track. October 19th, 11:15 a.m. District Court Courtroom number 4. Court is back in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. The prosecution has a concern. As our witness is a grade schooler of tender years and this is a murder case, we worry that the defense might cause unnecessary trauma with his cruel questioning. It is my job, Edgeworth. Like, we can't go around blindly throwing around accusations and sentencing people to lengthy sentences without proving their guilt. That is not how justice works, Edgeworth. Nice to see Edgeworth taking the moral high ground. However, we have no choice. The prosecution calls Cody Hackins to the stand. You can't even see over the podium. Your Honor, perhaps you could arrange a box for him to stand on. Oh, right. Guard, please bring him a box. One of those donut crates should do. Donut crates? Yeah, donuts are typically packed in cardboard boxes where I come from. Like, you would not be able to stand on them. Not even at that age. Without crumpling the box. Will the witness state his name and grade in school? Witness! What is it? Edgeworth and having difficulty getting people to say their names. What? Just because you're all grown up don't mean you can push me around. Oof. Cody? Answer his question, okay? Hey, it's you, the nice lady. I'm Cody Hackins. I'm in the 2nd grade. I get the feeling this is going to be a long, long day. Mr. Edgeworth, please remember that you're speaking to a child. Try to be gentle. Witness. Cody. He's having trouble with this gentle thing. You were present. You were at the little studios on the day of the incident. You got a problem with that? Please tell us what you saw that day. What, Pops? You want me to tell you and Gramps with the beard over there? Just, Mr. Edgeworth will be fine. I prefer bearded gentlemen myself. A very long day. Incidentally, photographic equipment is strictly forbidden in this courtroom. My apologies, Your Honor. He said he wouldn't testify if he couldn't bring it. I'd like special permission if that's possible. Wait, so you're saying that you had to bargain terms with the kid and you lost? Hey, I just got this new camera. Don't really know how to use it all that good yet. Well, I bring it with me everywhere I go. Phoenix. I wonder if he had that camera on the day of the murder. You better make a note of it in the court record. Cody's camera added to the court record. New digital camera. Cody always carries it, though he's still learning how to use it. Very well, Cody. Please testify to the court about what you saw the day of the incident. Witness's account. Witness testimony. I wanted to see a Steel Samurai rehearsal just once. Found a map on the internet. Went to the studios that day. Went through the woods, off the path, so that old lady wouldn't catch me. I was going for the studio. I got kind of lost on the way though, for about 30 minutes. When I came out by the studio, there was the Steel Samurai. It totally rocked. Right before my eyes, out came the bad guy. Of course, the Steel Samurai took him down. Pow. If I had my camera with me, that would have been the time for a shot, I tell you. Anyway, I couldn't get into the studio, so I went home. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. But be gentle. Remember, you're talking to a child. This kid's tougher than most adults we see in here, honestly. Yeah, he really is. This is the witness's account. I wanted to see Steel... So am I going to get penalized for pressing him? I don't know. I could try. See what happens. I wanted to see a Steel Samurai rehearsal just once. Hold it. You really like the Steel Samurai, huh? Of course I do. I've taped every show. And I go to all the live performances. That's impressive. Have you been to the amusement park? Of course, duh. My dad always takes me. Poor dad. Found a map on the internet. Went to the studios that day. The internet, huh? Was that day the first time you've been to the studio? Actually, I've been a couple of times. I never managed to get there on rehearsal day. That security lady's always yelling. Right. Please continue. Chill, Pops. I'm getting to it. How am I supposed to talk with you cutting me off all the time? Jeez. I like the way that he and Edward argue with each other. Went through the woods off the path so that old lady wouldn't catch me. Off the path? Yeah, you know how the studios are in a valley there? If you go off the path a little, there's woods. That's where I was. I wonder if it's possible that the murderer also went through the woods. I see. Anyhow, I was going for the studio. Let me review my evidence again. Let me check the guide map. Main gate, employee area. What I don't get is that they would have had to go from Studio 2 to the employee area dressing room to get the Steel Samurai costume and then pass back into Studio 1 to perform the murder. So there must have been some woods or something for them to pass through. That must have been the case. New digital camera. Hold it. Did nothing unusual happen on your way to the studio? Unusual? Did you see this monkey by any chance? Oh, you mean Mr. Monkey? Yeah, I saw him, but his head wasn't busted. So you went straight to the studio. You got kind of lost on the way, though, for about 30 minutes. Hold it. You got lost in the woods? Yeah, I couldn't figure out which way I was walking. Man, was I relieved when I saw the blue studio doors. But guess what happened next? When we came out by the studio, there was the Steel Samurai. The Steel Samurai? Yeah, he was standing by the studio gate. It looked like he was thinking about something before going in. Then he opened up the gate and went inside. I see. What then? He totally rocked. Right before my eyes, out came the bad guy. What sort of bad guy was it? A guy, a person, kinda tall, skinny. Are you sure it was a guy? I don't know, he was kinda far away. He was being awfully vague. Of course, the Steel Samurai took him down. Pow! What happened to the bad guy? Huh? Well, he kinda didn't move, not a bit, like he was dead. I guess he's a real pro. What a great actor. Except he wasn't acting. If I had my camera with me, that would have been the time for a shot, I tell you. If you had your camera? You mean you weren't carrying your camera then? No, I wasn't. It's not like I have it all the time. Really? I guess seeing the killing freaked him out and he went home. Phoenix. Remember, he's a child. Use gentle words, but be firm. Easy for you to say, you're a ghost. I wanted to see a Steel Samurai rehearsal just once. Okay, so now I need to object to something. Let's see, do I need to object with the guide map? He wasn't carrying his camera at the time. I'm telling you, if it challenges me, I'm gonna have to reference the guide. He's going for the studio. I canalized on the way for 30 minutes. I came out by the studio, there was a Steel Samurai. Let me try it first and see if I get countered by the judge. Let me object with the guide map. Okay, yeah. That's fine. I think his final statement, I present his camera against his final statement, I believe. Alright, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, he just gives so much information too. 6, 7, 8, 9. I I object with a camera. Well, and probably my biggest confusion is, like, why would I object with a camera? Cody, what you just said seems, well, a little strange. Didn't you say before that you always bring your digital camera with you wherever you go? You were quite clear about that. Huh? Cody, you shouldn't lie here. You understand that, right? Mr. Wright, a word with you. Oh, I was putting pressure on too much. What is this digital camera contraption you're talking about? It's a digital camera, Your Honor. It's kind of a new sort of camera. How do I explain that? I see. Anyway, Cody, I can't believe you wouldn't bring your camera on a trip to the studios. You did bring it, didn't you? Of course. Mr. Wright. How cruel you are to terrorize a poor child so. I don't care if he's a child or a prosecuting attorney. No one should lie in court. What do you mean, or a prosecuting attorney? Well, Cody? What? Yeah, so I had my camera, so what? You got a problem with that? So you did have a camera? And did you use this camera? I see, so I was looking for the contradiction in his testimony. It's just too much information sometimes. Why would I use it? I was too busy watching. Very well. Please testify to the court about what you were so busy watching. Okay, moving on to what he saw. So if I objected with the camera, shouldn't it follow that whatever is on the camera is useful as evidence? This is probably my number one frustration with this game. It's like, we talk about the camera and then we just casually move on from the fact that he had his camera, like it wasn't that important. Like, okay, yeah, we just objected with the camera, but you know what, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I had my camera with me, but I was glued to the action. Couldn't take my eyes off it. The Steel Samurai, he goes for the bad guy. Wham! Then the bad guy stopped moving. He's so strong, the Steel Samurai rules. Oh, is that all? Well, that was brief. Mr. Wright, cross-examination. Press, injects. Get your camera with you. Hold it. So why didn't you use it? He's getting to that. Relax and listen. I didn't use it because I was too busy watching the real thing. But I was glued to the action. Couldn't take my eyes off it. Hold it. So you were watching the Steel Samurai. Did you watch the whole fight? Yeah, of course. You didn't turn away, not even once? No. Okay, then tell us exactly what happened. Yeah, I'm getting to that. Steel Samurai goes for the bad guy. Wham! Hold it. So the bad guy attacked him first. Yeah. What sort of person was this bad guy? I told you, a person. He was a person. We know it was Jack Hammer. How was he dressed? I kinda don't remember. I was too busy watching the Steel Samurai. I see. And what happened next? Then the bad guy stopped moving. Why? Huh? What do you mean, why? Why wasn't the bad guy moving? Well, because the Steel Samurai brought him to justice. How exactly did he do that? How did he do it? With a samurai kick and a samurai punch, samurai chop, samurai slap. Something like that. He's still being vague about this. What? Don't give me that look, Pops. How should I play this? Let's wait and see what happens or press him. I think I'm going to press him. Cody. What? Something's bothering me. Before you said that you couldn't take your eyes off the action. Yeah, so what? Yet you missed the most important part. The actual strike. What's the meaning of this? The witness has stated what he saw quite clearly. Really, he didn't see anything at all. He didn't see who was inside the costume. He didn't even actually witness the murder. Objection! You know as well as I do that he's being vague. Tell me, what kind of murderer uses a samurai slap? My point is this. Cody, you may have seen some of the Steel Samurais fight, but you didn't see the murder. The killing blow. He didn't actually see anything. Order, order. Mr. Wright. How could this be? Can you explain how we might have missed something so vital? Well, that's the thing. Phoenix, I believe you're on the right track with this. Think, why didn't Cody see the climax of the fight? I know you can figure this out. Mr. Wright, your answer. We have ascertained that this young boy is a great fan of the Steel Samurai. Why wouldn't he watch the climax of the fight? He couldn't watch it, he was watching something else. Show evidence. Your Honor, I have evidence. Evidence? Yes, Your Honor. Why did Cody look away from the fight? Was it the head falling? Is that why? Or is it the scrapbook? Path to Glory. I just don't want to present the wrong evidence. Path to Glory says it contains photos of every victory seen in every battle the Steel Samurai has won. So I believe that the Path to Glory is not what I would choose. Let me choose the head instead. Here's my proof. Proof? Can I do that again? This doesn't prove anything, okay? Ha. Lost your nerve, have you? Very well, I'll ask you the question again. We have ascertained that this young boy is a great fan of the Steel Samurai. Why wouldn't he watch the climax of the fight? The camera. Again, what am I missing? Here's my proof. What's that? The camera? The witness stated that he recently received this camera. Yes, I'm aware of that. He wasn't entirely familiar with its operation. I'm aware of that too. Ah, correct. Why would Cody be looking somewhere else at the critical moment? Because he was looking at his camera. Okay. He was trying to take a picture. Hey. Bullseye. What's your problem, Pops? You got a thing for picking on little kids? Pressing, not picking. Good job, Phoenix. Cody was lying, clearly. Smart of you to realize there was no way he could just stand there watching his hero. And not take a picture. Right. Cody? There was only one reason why you would have looked away from the fight. And that was because you wanted to take a picture. Okay, again. What was the point of it all? But having just received your camera, you weren't used to using it yet. So you missed the climax of the fight, correct? Like, again, he didn't see anything. So what was the point of even having him up on the stand? Yeah. Well, Phoenix, I'll bet you anything he's hiding more than that. Have him testify again. Right. Yeah means business. Your Honor, the defense would like to request that Cody Hackins testify once more. Very well. Cody, could you please tell us about your camera? And about why you didn't take a picture of the fight? Welcome to the real world, kid. Witness testimony. No photo? Yeah, you're right, Pops. The Steel Samurai just escaped from the clutches of the villain. So I held up my camera to take a picture. But the lens wouldn't open in time, so I missed it. That's all that happened. Yep. Anything strange in that testimony, Mr. Wright? I'm not sure. But I'd like to proceed with the cross-examination anyway. Pops? Yeah, I called you Pops, you spiky-haired geezer. Geezer? I'm Mr. Edgeworth, and I guess I'm the bearded gentleman. That's what I hate about grown-ups, you're all so self-conscious. Okay, off with the kid gloves. Testify. Witness, testify. Yikes. Steel Samurai just escaped from the clutches of the villain. So you did see the beginning of the fight? Yeah. Did you notice anything unusual? I guess the Steel Samurai was moving a little strange. Moving strangely? So I held up my camera to take a picture. Why couldn't you take a picture? My new camera has too many buttons. I couldn't figure it out. I tried to take a picture, I really tried. But the lens wouldn't open in time, so I missed it. When the lens opened, what did you see? Well, a person on the ground, and a Steel Samurai. That's all that happened. That's all? Yeah, I told you, I didn't take a picture. I would have once I got that lens open. Did he really not take a picture? Not even one? Okay, keep pressing him. Nah, he definitely would have taken a picture. There's gotta be something here I could use. Cody. Listen up, Cody Hackins. I know exactly what happened that day. You took a picture. Hey. Bullseye. How did you know? I see through all your lies, Cody Hackins. It's one of my powers. Wow. This feels great. Yeah, I took a picture. Perhaps you can change your testimony to reflect this, Cody. I took a few shots, but it was too late, so I erased them. You erased them? Yeah. Why would you erase a picture of your beloved Steel Samurai victorious? Well, you know. Why would I want to keep a picture like that? He's becoming less and less cooperative. I better find a clear contradiction soon or some solid evidence. How can I pick holes in such a short testimony? There has to be something. Dig up the dirt, Phoenix. Find out what this kid's all about. I'll be right back. Those dang cameras. my biggest challenge is establishing some of these connections. Like, this entire trial has been about this camera. And we have found out he's erased the pictures on it. So it's like we're going in one giant circle. All we know is that Cody didn't really see anything, and he's not really able to contribute anything to the prosecution's case. So, again, it just doesn't seem to really be going anywhere. Need to object. Do I object again with the camera? Try to present his book. Cody! What? I mean, every time you say Cody, you follow it with something bad. I just wanted to thank you for giving me this the other day. Huh? Oh, right. What was it you told me then? I go to every live performance. I always take a picture when the Steel Samurai lands the final blow. Wazam! I got them all. I never missed one. Perfect collection. Uh-huh. Cody? Did you really get a picture of the Steel Samurai standing victorious over his foe? If you did, I find it hard to believe that you would just erase it. Wouldn't you keep it for your album? Ah, Mr. Wright, what exactly is this album? It's called Path to Glory, Your Honor. It's a collection of pictures of the Steel Samurai, all taken by Cody Hackins. He claims it's a perfect collection of every battle the Steel Samurai has won. I see. Don't you find this very odd, Your Honor? Among all his pictures of the Steel Samurai, none were taken that day. Order. Mr. Wright, have you an explanation? If the Steel Samurai had just defeated his adversary, I certainly would expect to see a picture of it in this album. Exactly my point, Your Honor. No, wait. No way. Phoenix? I think we finally discovered the truth. And what a truth it is. Mia, are we sure about this? Did he actually... Yes. Pretty sure what you're thinking is right. So the second grader was the one who did it. Are you serious? Tell them, Phoenix. Tell them what the truth is. See, and it's kind of funny because if we rewind to the first trial, that was the first alternate suspect that I proposed, the grade schooler. And they were saying it wasn't the case because he quote-unquote could not lift the spear. Mr. Wright, please explain quote what's going on here. Why was there no picture in the album from the day of the murder? Why would the boy have erased the photos he took? The photos were blurry, he erased them by mistake. The Steel Samurai didn't win. The Steel Samurai... Wait, what? What if I say blurry? I believe that Cody Hackins is what we call an artiste. An artiste? He didn't like the photos he had taken. They were blurry, or maybe his framing was off. Anyway, for some reason, he erased the data. Is that right, Cody? What do you mean, framing was off? Seems the only thing off is your guesswork, Mr. Wright. Yes. Well, I'm sure the real reason is... Yes, the real reason is... Why was there no picture in the album from the day of the murder? Why would the boy have erased the photos he took? Is it really the Steel Samurai didn't win? Is it really the Steel Samurai didn't win? And if so, how do we even know that? This is why I get so confused with this game sometimes. It's like... Try didn't win. I can think of only one reason, Your Honor. The Steel Samurai didn't win. That's why Cody deleted those photos. You mean the Steel Samurai lost? I'm so confused. Does that mean that Jack Hammer... Yeah, I don't know. I'm beyond confused. Was Jack Hammer playing the Steel Samurai? Yeah, I don't know, I'm just beyond confused right now. Well, Cody, I'm right, aren't I? Tell the truth. The bad guy defeated the Steel Samurai. No way, no. It's impossible. The Steel Samurai never loses. He never loses to anyone, ever. Your Honor? The witness has revealed everything with his words. There was a reason why he lied and told us he didn't take the picture. The same reason he erased his precious photos. For Cody, it was inconceivable that the Steel Samurai could be defeated. However, Cody witnessed the impossible. He saw the Steel Samurai lose. Yet to admit what he saw would destroy everything he believed in. That's why he lied and said the Steel Samurai won. He couldn't handle the truth. Order. I'll have order. Witness. Cody, is this true? What did you see? Tell the court what you saw. Cody, that day you saw the Steel Samurai lose a fight. I still don't get the line of reasoning at all. Can I look at my evidence? I think what's really confusing is that we saw Jack Hammer in the earlier episode with the hole in his chest. Steel Samurai didn't. So how is it the reverse case? And why don't I have any evidence to reflect that? Right? Okay. You're right. The Steel Samurai fell down. Then he didn't move. Order, I say. What kind of stunt are you trying to pull, right? The Steel Samurai was the murderer, not the victim. Yet according to your witness's testimony, the Steel Samurai was the one who fell. Is that why his ankle was hurt? Mr. Wright, what's going on? Apparently we've all made a serious error. An error? What's this all about? Oh my gosh. Hammer was the victim, Steel Samurai was the victim, or there was no victim. Steel Samurai was the victim. If you understand what really happened, it's actually quite simple. At the end of the fight, the Steel Samurai fell to the ground and lay still. In other words, the Steel Samurai was not the killer, but he was the victim. Don't you see? Jack Hammer was the Steel Samurai. I'm like beyond confused. Order, order, order. So the Steel Samurai in this photograph. You're saying that the man in this costume was the victim, Mr. Jack Hammer. That's what I'm saying, Your Honor. Mr. Hammer was present at the action scene run through that morning. Thus, he obviously knew about Willpower's foot injury. But wait, hadn't Mr. Hammer gone to Studio 1 already? That's what everyone thought. But remember what Miss Oldbag said in her testimony? On the day of the murder, I arrived at the guard station at 1 o'clock p.m. Did I see poor old Hammer? Nope. He'd already gone to the studio before I got back to the guard station. Mr. Jack Hammer left the employee area after lunch. What? just like, what? However, no one saw him going to Studio 1. So I don't understand, like, was Jack Hammer wearing the Steel Samurai costume? And if so, why was he the one that died? Nor was there a picture of him. He waited for Mr. Powers to take a nap in his dressing room. Then he snuck into the dressing room and stole the Steel Samurai costume. And he murdered himself with a spear. But why would the victim do such a thing? I don't know. I get it. I thought that the Steel Samurai was moving strange. So it was a different person inside the suit. Pops. Huh, me? What? Actually, there was one piece of data I saved. Data? Yeah, a photo on my digital camera. What? Show us, quick. No way, man, not if you're gonna look at me like that. Now. Here, this is it. Hammer is the one who got stabbed. So how is he the one wearing the Steel Samurai costume with the spear? I just don't know at all. Looking at this, still it's a little hard to say. I'm afraid that it could be anyone in that costume. Your opinion, Mr. Wright? I agree, Your Honor. This isn't decisive evidence. Yeah, it literally doesn't tell us anything. I'm sorry, this doesn't look like it's the proof we need. I'll give it back. Wait, Phoenix. Mia, what? Look at that photo once more. That's it, Phoenix. That photo is all the evidence you need to win this trial. What? Your Honor, may I see that photo once more, please? Certainly. I don't see why not. Phoenix, show him. There's a glaring decisive inconsistency with the facts as we know them in that photo. Find the inconsistency in the photo. It honestly looks like the director from this angle. This is Studio 2. Your Honor, look at this. I see a gate. When I draw your attention to the number on that gate. The number? Oh yes, well it's hard to see, but it looks like a 2. Telling us that The murderer came from Studio 2. Clearly not a 1, Your Honor, correct? Ah. I believe Mr. Edgeworth sees what I'm getting at. But that's impossible. What's this all about? Please explain so that I might be shocked along with the rest of the court. I'll use the studio guide map. The body was found here in Studio 1. However, what we do see in this photo taken at the time of the murder. What do we see in this photo taken at the time of the murder? It does not say 1 on that gate in the photo. Your Honor, here's the true scene of the crime. Show the judge where the murder took place. Studio 2, where it occurred. Here at Studio 2. So it could have been the director. I see. That would explain the 2 on the gate in the photo. Your Honor, I find it very significant that the murder took place in Studio 2. The trailer is there. It is the one. The path was blocked. No filming is done there. I'm just afraid of suggesting the wrong thing. The path was blocked. No, because the path is blocked is insignificant at this point. If we know that the murder occurred in Studio 2, it would have been irrelevant that the path is blocked. I think it's most significant that the filming is not done there. Because what does the trailer matter? I guess that's where everyone else was. So it follows that line of reasoning that if that's where everyone is, someone there could have still done it. I don't think it should matter that no filming is done there. As you may recall, there's a trailer in Studio 2. Now on that day, a meeting was held in that very trailer. There is a break in the meeting corresponding to the time of death. During that break, Mr. Salmonella and Miss Steve Vasquez were outside eating steak. They were at the scene of the crime. The path to the trailer was blocked. So we've heard. The path was blocked at 2:15. In other words, the victim went to Studio 2 before that time. Yes, I suppose that would be the case. Remember Mr. Salmonella's testimony? Allow me to remind the court. He said no one in the trailer was guilty because they could not have gone to Studio 1. Yet in actuality, the reverse was true. Only someone in the trailer could have committed this murder. They were the only ones with access to the scene of the crime, Studio 2. Order, order. The defense makes the following claims. The scene of the crime was Studio 2. The person that the security guard Ms. Olbach saw was the victim, Mr. Jack Hammer. Why was he wearing a Steel Samurai costume? Mr. Hammer, for some reason, stole a Steel Samurai costume. Then he went to Studio 2. This is madness. This is Sparta. We don't know why he stole the costume. Jack Hammer is the victim. The victim. Why would he steal a Steel Samurai costume? Are you suggesting he did so to cover up the details of his own murder? Well, no, of course not. Or do you have proof? Give me proof that the victim Jack Hammer stole the costume. I have proof. You do? You do, Mr. Wright? Now if they're so surprised, suddenly I'm much less confident. I think I'm right, though. Here's my proof that Jack Hammer stole the costume. The pills. This is it. An empty medicine bottle? I found this on the table in the employee area. The same table where Mr. Hammer and Mr. Powers ate. The label reads sleeping pills. Sleeping pills. The defendant, Mr. Powers, spent that entire evening sleeping. He was drugged by Mr. Hammer. Wait a moment. That bottle does raise some suspicions, yes. There's no proof that Mr. Hammer used it. Your Honor, I have an idea. Test Powers' blood, fingerprint the bottle, examine Hammer's body. Let's see, the blood, the body, or the bottle. Let's take prints. An idea, very well, let's hear it. I want to check this bottle for fingerprints. If my claim is true, Mr. Hammer's fingerprints should show up on this bottle. I suppose you're right. Very well. The court will take possession of the bottle. Empty bottle given to the judge. This court will suspend proceedings on the current trial for today. Cody Hacken's testimony has revealed new possibilities in this case. Such confusing twists and turns in this case. We still don't know why Hammer took the costume. Like, not only did he take the costume, he was also the one that was murdered. So there's some really big questions that don't have answers. In fact, things may have happened very differently than we previously thought. The Steel Samurai seen by Miss Oldbag may have been the victim, Jack Hammer. The scene of the crime was not Studio 1, it's Studio 2, and those in the trailer did have time to commit the murder. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? Your homework is to find the answer to the following question. Why did he take that stinking costume? Why would Mr. Hammer steal the Steel Samurai costume? Also, who killed him and why? Find the answers for me by tomorrow. That's a lot of homework. Mr. Edgeworth. You'll need to reconsider your stance in this case. Above all, you'll need to reconsider your suspicion of Mr. Will Powers. As you say, Your Honor. This trial will be extended until tomorrow. This is the last extension. Wouldn't the burden be on the prosecution to figure out who killed Jack Hammer? Not the defense. That's the job of the prosecution. Very well. Court is adjourned. October 19th, 2:47 p.m. District Court Defendant Lobby Number 1. Whew. That was a close one. We were saved by a hair, but that's all that counts. I thought seriously about going home about 3 times during the trial. Me too. Really? You both seem so confident. Maybe I should take up a career in acting. I was ready to pronounce you dead about 3 times back there. Me too. Dead? Ho-ho, of course, we're kidding. Are you sure? I wasn't kidding. Now, Mr. Powers. We have to go make our final investigation. But I promise you, we'll find the true killer by tomorrow's trial. Right, thanks. To be continued. What a doozy. It was the dang camera. Okay, I'll be right back. An episode of Hearthstone Mercenaries. Reading and then exercise. Thank you all for watching this episode of Phoenix Wright. So many twists and turns. I really have to use my reasoning on this one, but thank you for watching.